It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl, the science quiz program here in the Prince George's Schools. And today we have two outstanding elementary schools here. One school for their first time ever on our show in 38 years. We're looking forward to meeting them. They'll be playing our game today. Let's meet today's teams. First from Hyattsville Elementary School. Say hello to Tess. Hey Tess, wave to everybody at home. Their captain Yucabed is here, and wearing a matching shirt is Zach. He rounds out the trio there at Hyattsville. They'll be playing against Panorama, first ever time here. Skylar, nice to have you here. Wave to everybody at home. Their captain is Zori. Hey Zori. And Peyton is down there too. She's rounding out the threesome. And here on the Science Bowl, we have 6 categories of questions. And if you're not familiar with those categories, here they are now.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here in the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points. Tougher ones increasingly 15, 20. Toughest one of all, 25 points. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. And to the 2 rounds, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps advance to the semifinals. We're getting close to that now. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly before we start. Yucabed, would you try the red team's buzzer? Looks good, sounds good. Good luck to you and your team. And Zori, try the green team's buzzer. All right, it also seems to work just fine. All right, good luck to all of you. We go alphabetically, so Hyattsville with an H goes before Panorama with the P. So Yucabed, let's have a good game. Go.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. When millions of wildebeest move to better feeding grounds, or when millions of monarch butterflies fly from North America to Mexico for the winter, that movement is called this. Hyattsville.
Migration.
Migration, absolutely right. If you saw The Lion King, you remember all those wildebeest that came down and they ran over poor Simba's father down there. And the monarch butterflies, those orange and black butterflies, we actually have one right up there. It is well known, a migration that they take. Go again, Red.
Green things for 15.
Green things? Green things for 15 points. If your houseplants, how many of you have houseplants at home? If your houseplants aren't flowering, but the leaves are large and healthy, it could be that you're adding too much fertilizer full of this N-initialed chemical that helps form chlorophyll. Hyattsville.
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen, absolutely right. And from the periodic table. Good, go.
Science Potpourri for 5. Science Potpourri for 5. Science Potpourri for 5.
Science Potpourri for 5 points. In the theater, like the Phantom of the Opera, there's often a machine to create this ground-level cloud, often mistaken for a form of precipitation. Hyattsville.
Fog.
Fog, yeah. They have a fog machine out there. If you have a school play, sometimes if you want to create that eerie effect, you have a fog machine. Fog, since it doesn't fall from the sky, is not considered a form of precipitation. Good start. Go, Red.
Dateline Science for 10. Dateline Science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Here's the question in that category. Living with pets, according to a recent study, is thought to reduce stress levels and to make this protective body system stronger. Panorama. What body system is made stronger by having a cat or a dog at home? Say it.
The nerves.
Not the nerves. That's a good try. Hyattsville, can you give us the name of the body system that is strengthened by having pets?
Immune
The
system.
immune system, yeah. So you can better fight off bacteria and viruses. Good. Nice try, Green. Get them next time. Go Red. You can bet. You go.
Let's get physical for 10.
Physical for 10 points. All right. The intensity of the sunlight in South America's desert, called the Atacama Desert, is often more intense than that on this planet, the second in the solar system. And yes, Hyattsville.
Venus.
Venus, yeah, and 40 million miles from Earth. So I hope you studied the order of the planets. I hope you study the periodic table and some of the symbols, because that'll come handy today when you're trying to answer these questions. Go Red. You're up to 100 points.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo for 15. There was recently a picture of a golden horseshoe crab that won an award. That horseshoe crab is not a crab at all, but rather it is more closely related to this A-initial group of creatures that includes spiders. A-initial group that includes spiders. The green team has rung in. Come on, guys, let's get these points. What is the A-initial group that spiders belong to, as does this kind of horseshoe crab? Yes, ma'am?
Spider?
No, remember when I said A-initial, it has to start with the letter A. Hyattsville, spiders belong to what group?
Arachnid.
Arachnids, yes, arachnids. Like arachnophobia, that was a movie. Fear of spiders. And then there's arachnophilia. Some people love spiders. Not that many. Go Red.
Do body systems for 5. Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. This is funny. The name for these body parts comes from the Latin word for mouse, because ancient people thought mice running under the skin caused all those bulges.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps.
Not goosebumps, good try. They thought that mice were running underneath the skin and it caused all these bulges. Muscles. Muscles are the bulges underneath your skin, and they thought there were mice under there running around. Some people have bigger mice under there than others if they got some big biceps. Okay, go again, Red.
Green things for 10. Green things for 10.
Green things for?
10.
10. All right, green things for 10 points. The Sea of Grass is the description often given to this E-initialed national park at the tip of Florida. You may answer. All right, come on. The E-initialed national park at the bottom of the Florida Peninsula, sometimes called a Sea of Grass. Name that national park. Okay, let's go to Hyattsville. Any idea?
No.
It's the Everglades. The Everglades down there. The buzzer says we've come to the end of the first round, and it's 115 for Hyattsville and 50 for Panorama. We'll be back with round 2 in just a moment. And welcome back to part 2 of our Science Bowl today. 2 outstanding elementary schools here. We have lots of science questions to ask, but let's have a few personal ones directed to our players. Let's find out about them and their schools. Let's go first to Hyattsville Elementary School. Yukabed, nice to have you here. Tell us a little bit about your school. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Dr. McKay.
Wonderful. And out there rooting for you. And Mr. Danga is your coach, and know how proud he is of you. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
And we have 2 coaches.
Oh,
Miss Valbuena.
who else is there?
Miss Valbuena.
Wonderful. And we'll bring them both out here in just a few moments. Did you have any alternates on your team?
We did, but he's in the hospital. His name is Ibrahim.
Oh, we sent him our best wishes. I know he wanted to be here. So it's just the 3 of you guys here. Well, you're doing a fine job here. Tell us something about Hyattsville that everybody should know that you really like. And I know you're destined to get a new school. You'll be too old to go there. But what's happening there now that you really like?
We have a lot of extracurricular activities like sports club and art club, do the math for enrichment activities like do the math and ELO.
I think that's wonderful. I like that you use wonderful vocabulary. Enrichment, extracurricular, you did a real nice job there. And you told me earlier you're thinking about being a
Engineer.
bioengineer. What gave you the idea to do that?
I really like helping people, and maybe making medicine can help someone that really needs it.
Boy, that's the perfect reason to do that. They're going to be lucky to get you, whoever hires you one day, Yukabid. You're doing a nice job today. Zach, nice to have you with us today. You told me earlier that your brother was on the show at one time, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're following in his footsteps. Can I ask, did he win when he was here?
No, he lost the second game.
So you can one-up him a little bit here.
Yeah,
You know, you
that's what
can.
I
I know
wanted
that's in
to.
the back of your mind. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a computer programmer.
Yeah, all right. You like to do video games right now and things
Yeah.
like that? And you play sports? What sports you play? I know you'd like 3 or 4.
Football, swimming, basketball, and soccer.
All right, yeah, that keeps you busy. And Tess, you're into sports too. What do you do?
I do swimming, gymnastics, and soccer.
Yeah. So are you on a swim team?
Yes.
Yeah. What is your best swim stroke?
Backstroke.
Very nice. Yeah. Where do you swim?
The Adelphi pool.
Oh, yeah, I know that pool. Yes, I do. Yeah. Now, why'd you want to be on the show?
I really like science, and I just wanted to do this so I could learn more.
Yeah, we hope you're learning more, and we're learning also how much you already know. You're bringing a lot to the game here. Future yet? Any career ideas?
I want to be an author.
An author, yeah. So a good writer, too. I was talking earlier about the write-a-book competition here in the county. I hope you participate. Maybe you already do. Let's go over to Panorama. Zori, nice to have you here. Tell us about Panorama. Who's your principal?
It's Dr. Frazier.
All right, Dr. Frazier, and out there rooting for you, too. And you've got 2 coaches as well, don't you? Tell us who they are.
It's Mr. Willie and Mrs. Collins.
Ms. Collins, and they're out here, and this is their first time coaching. It's your first time here, and it takes a while to get the hang of this. You know, the first half is like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? But I know you're going to do well in the second half. Do you have any alternates on your team? I think you do. What are their first names?
Jada and Lucia.
Good. We'll bring them out and give them some FaceTime in just a moment. And tell me something about Panorama that's really neat. I remember, as I taught right next to you when it was G. Gardner Shoe Guard, what a beautiful view it is there up behind your school. A nice name for your school. Tell us something about your school you like.
Well, we do after-school activities sometimes.
Like what?
Like I do spelling club.
Spelling club. So did you have a spelling bee at your club, at your school?
Yes.
Yeah, spelling bees are great. What do you want to do someday, Zori?
I want to be a YouTube animator or a teacher.
Very nice. Yeah, so you have definite plans. And you know, we could always use good teachers. I hope you do persist in that if that's something you really love. Peyton, nice to have you here. Tell us a little bit about Peyton. What do you do in your spare time? Nice and loud.
In my spare time, sometimes I like to either play with my friends or I like to just draw for fun.
Like to draw, yeah. A lot of people like to be animators here, and drawing is a great creative outlet. Potential author over here. Anytime you can create something, you can express your personality. All right, let's have a good second half here. Skylar, tell us about Skylar. Now, you have responsibility. You are a crossing guard there, you know. Tell us where you patrol.
I help the children go outside to their parents when it's time for dismissal, and I make sure everybody's out and I lock the door.
Very good. Oh my God, you have a lot of responsibility. And you have kindergartners there, don't you?
Yes.
Is it K-5 or K-6?
It's K5.
K-5, yeah. And then when you leave Panorama, where would you typically go to middle school?
Either Samuel P. Massey or Benjamin Starter.
I was going to say, I know Benjamin Stoddard is not too far away from where you are there behind Iverson Mall. And someday, what do you hope to do?
I'm thinking about being a veterinarian.
Veterinarian. Do you have any pets at home?
I did. His name was Prince. He was a Yorkie.
Oh, and you lost him.
No, he was with my aunt.
Ah, okay, so he's still around. That's great,
Yes.
yeah. I can see the smile on your face. Yeah, I bet you were really good with Yorkie. All right, let's get back into the game here. 50 to 115. Last correct answer came from the red team. So, Yukabed, let's go.
Green things for 5. Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. All right, see if you can say this fast. No. Peter Piper picked a peck of these pickled vegetables.
Peppers.
Yes, right. He picked those peppers, some of which are so hot you burn them your mouth with the first bite. Okay, you're on the board. Go. Go, Zori. You choose. Zori, you choose.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20. All right. While most newspapers are made from recycled fiber, some still use the pulp from softwood coniferous trees. I'll give you 20 points and you can give me one coniferous tree that they still make paper from. Hyattsville.
Oak.
Oh, not an oak, not an oak. Panorama.
They make it from they make it from.
You could have told me pines or firs or spruces, the kinds of things we have at Christmas time oftentimes. Those are those softwood trees. Okay, try again. Green.
Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. All right, we're going to show you a picture. Look at this creature. Scary looking thing. All right, this is an artist's drawing of a dinosaur called, has a big long name, Irritator challengeri. That is thought, look at his jaw, that is thought to have scooped up prey with its lower jaw, much like what modern day bird that scoops up fish with a pouch? Panorama.
They pick it up with their
Name the bird.
sea. No.
Come on, Scott,
Pelican.
what are you saying?
Pelican.
Pelican, that's what I want to hear. That I knew there was a pelican in there somewhere. We just pulled it out. Good, go, green.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. Here we go. How many of you have flown in an airplane ever? Yeah. And if you fly a long distance, you get jet lag if you've flown through a couple time zones. That's caused by causes an upset to your body's 24-hour clock, which is known as your circadian what? Your circadian what, Panorama?
Circadian what?
Okay, don't ring in unless you have an idea. You can bet Zach test your circadian what? Your 24-hour body clock.
Clock. Circadian clock.
Circadian rhythm, because I already gave you 24-hour clock. So no points that time. So we're still with green. Zori, go. You pick.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. There's a favorite British cartoon character, a barnyard animal that's fond of muddy puddles.
Peppa Pig.
It is Peppa Pig, absolutely right. Yes, got yourself 5. Go.
Body systems for 15.
Body for 15 is a multiple choice question. We were talking about jet lag. When you pop your ears, say after being in an airplane, you're finally equalizing the pressure in which of the following E initial tubes that connect your mouth to your ear? Is it the, okay?
It's the earlobe. Earlobe?
No, not the earlobe. Let me give you the 3 tubes, Euclid and Zach and Tess, that causes the equalizing of pressure. Is it the epiglottis, the esophagus, or the eustachian tube? What you got?
Epiglottis. Epiglottis.
Not the epiglottis, so it's the eustachian tube. The epiglottis is that little flap of skin over your trachea there that keeps the food from going into your lungs, okay? We're still with green. Go. 115 to 80 still.
Body systems for 10.
Body for 10. All right. If your doctor says that a prescription drug should be taken sublingually, what he or she means is that the pill should be placed under your what?
Tongue.
Your tongue, absolutely right. Good, Panorama. Good. Lingual is a word that refers to tongue. All right. We're getting a close game here. Go green.
Science state line for 10. We already did that. Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri, 10 points. Question. As foodies everywhere know from drinking acidic lemonade and putting acidic vinegar on their salad, the tongue perceives acid as this taste. This taste, you can bet.
Sour.
Sour, yeah, that's sour. Good. Go. Red. Thank you, Tess. You jumped in there.
Let's get science potpourri for 20.
Science potpourri for?
20.
20. All right. The word cereal. Do you like cereal? Anybody? Yeah, cereal is great. The word cereal comes from the Roman goddess Ceres, C-E-R-E-S, who was the goddess of this A-initialed science that studies the raising of crops like corn and wheat. What is that A-initialed science? I'm getting lots of quizzical looks. We're talking about agriculture. Agriculture. Go again, red. You go ahead.
That might be.
What should we do?
Just do another 20.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline, 20 points. Here's the question. In 1937, a large blimp, a dirigible, called the Hindenburg, crashed and burned in New Jersey. It was terrible. The reason it burst into flame was because it was filled with very flammable hydrogen gas. Today's blimps are filled with another gas that is non-flammable. Hyattsville, name that gas.
Pass, Zachary.
Helium?
Helium, absolutely right, yes, which is 1/16 as dense as air. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, helium balloons. Good, go. Thanks, Zach. Red.
Just do small now.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. If the moon does not completely block the sun on April 8th, it won't be a total solar eclipse. It will be what P initialed adjective describer for that eclipse?
Partial.
Yeah, we're going to see a partial eclipse here. We are not going to be in the path of totality. Yes, indeed. Good, go.
Just do less.
Let's get physical for 5.
Physical, 5 points. Seen in a comic strip recently, The Family Circus, one child tells another, lightning comes first to warn you to cover your ears before this arrives.
Thunder.
You can bet.
Thunder.
The thunder, right. Good, go. Red.
Just keep going.
Science potpourri for 15.
Science potpourri, 15. All right. Trick question. Listen carefully. Of all the planets in our solar system, and there are 8, what is the only one not named for a Greek or Roman god? You can bet.
What'd you say? Oh, Venus.
What you got?
Uranus.
Not Uranus, no. All right.
What could it
Down
be?
to 7
Because-
planets. Which one is not named for a Greek or Roman god?
Neptune, it's not in our solar system.
Zori?
Mars?
I told you it was a trick question. The correct answer is Earth. Earth. Oh, you were thinking about everything else. Yeah, all right. Okay, go again, red.
15.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline, 15 points. Ammonium chloride, I never knew this, found in some candies might just be a new taste. A 6th one joining sweet, salty, bitter, sour, and what you initial taste. Umami. Umami is a taste like if you ever get Chinese food, kind of that monosodium glutamate, it's kind of a savory taste. Go again, red.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. All right. Even though Mars's surface, we all know about Mars, we've got those rovers up there, it's smooth, doesn't have any tectonic plates. Even though it's like that, these geological events still occur.
Earthquake.
Hyattsville.
Earthquake.
Or moonquakes, absolutely right. Sometimes registering 5.5 on the Richter scale. Nicely done. Go Euclid.
Just do the last 20.
Let's get physical for 20.
Physical for 20 points. Here we go. All right. Come on, let's get this one, Panorama. You need some points. Small airplanes continue to use gasoline that contains this chemical, which is now mostly removed from gasoline and paint since it can damage children's nervous system. The chemical symbol is capital P, small b. Name that chemical. Come on, Zori. They took it out of paint. They took it out of regular gasoline. It is bad for you.
Pass it to Skylar.
Skylar, do you have any idea the name of that chemical? When I tell you, you're going to know it. Euclid.
Iron, it's
What you got?
Iron's SP, I think. I just,
Go ahead, Zach. Zach?
Pass that.
I would say mercury.
Good try. Lead.
Aye.
Lead. There's no lead. You know, for a long, it used to be they painted things with lead paint, and kids, when they would be gnawing on door jambs, and they were getting poisoned by that lead. So it's all been wiped out, but not in jet fuel. Go again, red. Oh, the buzzer says we're not going anywhere. All the 25-point questions are left unasked, but it looks like Hyattsville has done it. We'll double check that score. Be back with you in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. And we're rooting for our first-time school, Panorama. Don't make us wait 38 more years before we see you here. Panorama today had 90 points, Hyattsville 170. Nice round of applause for that Hyattsville team. Yukabed, would you be good enough to introduce who's standing behind you there?
That's Dr. McKee, our principal, and that's Mr. Dana and Miss Walbuena, our coaches.
Wonderful. And the principal didn't get the memo about what to wear today, did he? Good to have you here today, sir. And Zori, would you tell us who's standing behind you over there?
This is Miss Collins, and this is one of the alternatives, Jada, and this is another one of the alternatives is here, and this is Mr. Willie.
Let's give them a round of applause, too. Wonderful game from Panorama. All right. Thank you for joining us today on the Science Bowl. I'm Dave Zarin. Until next time, bye-bye, everyone.